Good morning, everybody. We have a really nice day to go out for a run today. It's only 58 degrees right now. It started at 51 this morning, so it's officially fall. The temperatures are going down just a little bit, and it's a perfect day for a run. I've actually got on some long sleeves or three-quarter sleeves kind of for this morning, just because it's a little cool right now. And we're gonna go out. It's a cutback week, more or less, but we do have 6 miles right now at our marathon pace. So we're gonna go out, and again, we're just kind of conservatively going for around a 350 to 4 hour marathon this year. We've had some injuries. I've just been coming back from, more of a lazy year with 2020 and everything that was going on. There was no racing. So we're gonna go out, try and get a nice 6 mile run in right around 9 minutes per mile, maybe a little bit less than that. The temperatures should make it fairly comfortable coming out of a hot summer. A lot of people always ask, how many miles should I put in my race day shoes before I go out and race? And I think there's a lot of different opinions out there. I will just give you mine. I am going to try on the Next Percent 2 right now. I haven't raced in that shoe myself, so I want to get some small amount of mileage at least in the shoe, just to make sure that it's going to work for me, that there's not going to be any blisters or anything like that that might start to form over a full marathon. So we have the Next Percent 2 on our feet, and that's typically what I'll do. If it's a brand new shoe, I'm going to put in, anywhere from like today 6 miles to maybe my last workout that's at a marathon pace, which I've done like in 2019 when I was really going for a PR in the Chicago Marathon. My last workout was, I think, like 115 minutes or something like that at marathon pace, which came out to, I don't know, somewhere around 10 miles maybe. I don't remember the math. But so I did about 10 miles at marathon pace plus a 10-minute warm-up and a 10-minute cool-down. So that was about 12 miles, but that was a good distance that I'm, at a race pace, which at the time was around, I think I was running like 7:46 for that workout. So I was doing 7:46 per mile for around 10 to 12 miles or whatever it was. And that was how I made sure that the shoe was going to fit for my foot. Aside from, a brand new shoe that you've never put on your feet before, if I was running in the Next Percent 1, which I know work for me, I wouldn't hesitate essentially to go into the shoe brand new. I've had a couple pair of Next Percent 1s, and I've always just, when it was brand new and I already knew that it worked for me, I just threw it on my foot and I could go out and race, because I guess I trusted really that there wasn't going to be a big difference from one shoe to the next, and I knew that the shoe and the size that I had picked was going to work for me. So that's kind of my philosophy with picking a race day shoe and making sure that it works and how many miles to put in them. I don't think any of these race day shoes these days, if you don't need to break them in, they're all ready to go out of the box, and frankly their lifespan probably isn't as good as you'd wish they were, so why would you want to put a dent in that with some more miles just casually running on the road? So that's how I do it. That's my take on everything. So let's get there. Let's get a nice 6 mile run at a nice, steady marathon pace for me right now. Alright, well, I am glad that that is done. It's just warming up now. Looks like it's already up to 74 degrees. And if I open this up, the sun is definitely out again. So, just glad to have gotten it done. It felt very smooth. 9 minutes per mile for 6 miles was really easy. I'm interested to just take a look at my heart rate, and maybe we'll just dive into that once I get home, look at Strava, see what the heart rate was throughout the run, just to get an idea of where I'm sitting, you know, fitness wise. But I think honestly most of the miles I was at like 8:45, 8:30. The last mile might have even been in the 8:20s, so I was going a little fast, but it felt very comfortable, so it's a good sign for you know, somewhere around 9 still being a good pace for a marathon. Let's get home, shower, eat breakfast, and yeah, just very happy about that run, very happy about how comfortable I feel. Oh, and very happy with how the next %2 feels, so back in the closet for them, and I think I'll leave them there till race day. Okay, so we're going to do a quick dive into what our pacing was like for this morning. And I can already see, I just posted recently about, you know, wrist-based heart rate. I'm just using my Garmin watch here, and I'm seeing things that I don't think are true heart rates. There's a couple of sections where my heart rate just spiked pretty high, I mean, into the 180s, where even during the 800-meter repeats, things like that, I wasn't seeing 180s, and I usually don't. I mean, my max heart rate's probably somewhere in the 190s if I'm racing like all out on a 5K. 180 is pretty high though, even for the marathon. Like when I ran, you know, hard 3 hour, 30-minute-ish in Chicago in 2019, I don't think my heart rate went above the 170s, so I'm pretty sure it's a mistake and an error in the watch, and it's just, again, what we have to look out for. But so you'll see here, I was going for, in the beginning, I told you, around 9 minutes per mile. I was also testing out the Nike Next %2. I want to make sure the upper, everything, the lacing, the tightness, everything is dialed in for race day. And mission accomplished. They had me going quicker, and it still felt pretty easy, which again is why 180 seems crazy to me. So we had an 8:42 first mile, 8:44, 8:46, and it was a consistent pace, consistent effort. Again, I just felt like I was flowing through the run. I really didn't feel like I was struggling at any point. And even towards the end, you can see it, all of a sudden I was running 8:24, 8:23, and it still felt fairly easy. I think the only reason I was going that quick is because there's a couple spots where there's a lot of trees and I lose some of the GPS, so it would tell me I'm running like 9:15 or 9:30, and I just, you know, picked up the pace a little bit. Again, feeling that I wasn't really doing too much effort. You know, I had no idea I was actually running closer to a, you know, 8:24, 8:23 miles. I think it's a good sign overall, because if you look here, my heart rate is starting in the 140s, 150s by mile 2. Again, this is where I think there's an, you know, inaccurate spike. All of a sudden it shoots up to 185. It comes back down a little bit, but I think overall in this whole section, my watch just kind of got locked in at a wrong heartbeat. It was counting 170s, 180s, and I don't think that was ever true, because there's no reason. Usually this was a consistent run. I didn't stop at all, even to turn around. I just jogged and turned right back around and kept going. Never stopped the watch. You'd be very hard pressed to find anybody who suddenly is truly having a 180 beat per minute heartbeat, and then for whatever reason, while you keep running the same pace, it goes all the way back down to the 150s and 160s. That's not something that makes sense. So I believe I was just, you know, around 150, 160 throughout this whole section. And then here we are again. It's still, you can see, around 160 down to 150, 155. So I'm pretty comfortable and confident that throughout this entire run, even when I was dropping down here into the, you know, 8 minutes and 30 seconds and lower pace, my body was still right around, we'll say 160 for the average. Overall, good signs. Just wanted to do a quick little deep dive into my heart rate and the pacing for today, because these kinds of runs at marathon effort and marathon pace really help gauge how you're doing and if you need to adjust any of your marathon expectations along the way. All right, we'll be back here tomorrow for our Sunday 12-mile run.